Welcome back to the Contractor 101 series. In a prior video, we touched on the trust funds and the roles that the third-party administrator and auditors play on those funds, and how you, as a contractor signatory to DC 16, interact with them. This video contains a lot of important information, so please feel free to watch it as many times as you need to fully grasp each item, and reach out to staff with any questions you may have. As a contractor signatory to District Council 16, you have trust fund payment obligations that are required each month as defined in the collective bargaining agreement. The various funds you contribute to can include health and welfare, retirement plans such as pension, 401k, or annuity plans, work preservation, industry promotion, and training. Another obligation that you may be aware of is that you must be bonded. The trust funds are managed by representatives from both labor and management, which receives input and recommendations from non-voting professionals to manage the funds successfully. These professionals are the third-party administrator, auditors, legal counsel, consultants, actuaries, and investment advisors. In this video, we are focusing on the legal team contracted by the trust funds and the different scenarios that may result in communications with them. As a reminder, the auditors conduct a courtesy audit on every new contractor after the first 6 months of becoming signatory, and typically every 3 years after that. Their job is to continuously review the reporting of these hours to ensure contractors are following the proper protocol on reporting and payment of contributions to the related fringe benefit funds, and to answer individual calculation or reporting questions that you may have and resolve any processing issues. Any issues they find in these audits are brought to the attention of the trust fund's trustees, and unresolved issues are ultimately turned over to the fund's legal counsel. So, what are some of the things legal counsel may deal with? Let's look at a few scenarios. Overpayments. When you make an overpayment on benefits, you will receive notification from the auditors. However, depending on which fund the overpayment is made to, you may or may not receive a refund. The audit report will divide overpayments by those eligible for credit and those that are not eligible for credit. For instance, the trust prohibits a refund of credit for improper health and welfare contributions that exceed the amounts due for hours worked, overpayments to vacation or the JATTF, and defined contribution plan as determined by an audit. However, it is possible that pension overpayments can be refunded once it goes through the appeal process. The trust fund's policy is that overpayments that are eligible for credit will not be credited to your account until your payroll audit is paid in full. Underpayments, incorrect payments, or late payments. There may come a time where you make payments to the trust that are calculated incorrectly, resulting in underpayments or misallocations. When this happens, you will receive notices from the auditors, and if it isn't resolved at that step, it will be forwarded to the legal team for further action. It is imperative to communicate with the legal team when contacted, as there may be options to resolve the matter, including setting up a payment plan. When it gets to this stage, you could be charged attorney's fees in addition to the other amounts due pursuant to the audit, which includes interest and liquidated damages. Liquidated damages also increase to 20% of contributions if legal is required to file a lawsuit against you to obtain payment. Attorney's fees will be charged if you do not respond to communications from legal. 0-hour reports. If you do work in more than one geographical area, you have to fill out an hours report for each area. Some contractors may only do work in a different area on one project and no longer have employees reporting to that area. If that is the case, contractors will need to continue to send in reports for that area showing 0 hours worked so that it doesn't trigger an audit. How to make an appeal to the trust fund. If you disagree with the findings of the auditor and legal counsel, you can file an appeal with the trustees of the fund in question. A letter outlining your case should be electronically sent to the third-party administrator and copy the auditor, the legal counsel, and the chief executive officer of NCAT. Your appeal will then be heard at the next scheduled trust meeting, and a decision will be made at that time. Be sure to include as much background and evidence as possible when submitting your appeal. An appeal that merely states that the audit is wrong but provides no evidence will likely be denied. You need to provide whatever documentation that you have to show that the audit is wrong, so that the trust fund can make a determination. Communication with legal counsel is key when you're working through trust delinquencies or payment discrepancies. Communication gaps or failure to work towards a resolution could result in a 48-hour notice from the union that your labor force will be removed from all of your job sites, or you could be taken to court and your personal and professional assets could be impacted. As we mentioned in a previous video, when you complete your reporting process successfully, you can request and receive a status letter to show your general contractor or owner that you are up to date on your payments, which you will receive from legal counsel. All of this can seem confusing and overwhelming at times, but as a contractor signatory to DC 16, you have monthly trust fund obligations, so communication to the trust is key. If you have questions or issues regarding your payments or reports, or if you are newly signatory or need a refresher on processes, we highly encourage you to contact an NCAT staff member. We can help guide you through the process and are happy to help.